Now, former US President Donald Trump's seen red after being booted off from holding office in 2024 due to his alleged incitement of the US Capitol riot some 3 years ago. It seems he's been mugging up on Adolf's Mein Kampf, another thing he denies.
It's crazy what's going on. They're ruining our country. And it's true. They're destroying the blood of our country. That's what they're doing. They're destroying our country. They don't like it when I said that. And I never read Mein Kampf. They said, oh, Hitler said that in a much different way. No, they're coming from all over the world, people all over the world. We have no idea. They could be healthy. They could be very unhealthy. They could bring in disease that's going to catch on in our country, but they do bring in crime.
Joining us now, live from Washington, is former Republican Congressman Joe Walsh. Now, I know Joe's going to be absolutely incandescent about this because I've been seeing some of the tweets you've been putting out, Joe, and I'm worried about you, man. I'm worried you're getting carried away again. You know how you got the first time we spoke, right? And I was worried about your blood pressure. You're quite right, though. You're absolutely right to say that this is craziness from Colorado, isn't it?
Michael, that first time I was on TV with you, I literally wanted to whack you upside the head. And I will always apologize to you for that. Look, here's the deal, and you and I disagree on this. I believe Donald Trump engaged in insurrection. I believe he led an effort to violently overthrow an American election. Now, Michael, I believe that, but who the hell am I?
Yeah.
I'm just a former congressman.
Yes,
the Constitution is clear. If you committed an insurrection, you can't serve. But that's where it's tricky, Michael. It doesn't matter if I think Trump committed an insurrection. The courts are going to have to decide that.
Yes, because when we did first speak that time, I said to you, yeah, but he didn't commit an insurrection, and you weren't sure. You said, well, you know, I think he might have done, but then you said, let's see what the courts say. Let's see whether the court decides to prosecute him. And in the end, they didn't prosecute him. So the ruling so far is that he didn't. And also what I understand from the Constitution and the part of it that they're using in Colorado is that you have to be an officer of the government. Now, as far as I understand it, from people who I've spoken to, being president doesn't make you an officer of the government.
Well, and then there are a bunch of legal experts who will say it does. But Michael, that's a great point. Here's the deal. Like, you got to be 35 years old to be president. That's pretty clear cut.
Yeah. This
is not as clear cut. Was it insurrection? Wasn't an insurrection? Did Trump engage in insurrection? A number of judges have said no. Colorado said yes. What we do know is this: it's going to go up to the Supreme Court in a nanosecond, and the Supreme Court is going to have to take a stance because we got to put this thing to bed.
Yeah, because let me tell you what it looks like from my perspective. It looks like another desperate attempt to prevent a man who has got every right to stand for president not being allowed to stand. I mean, you said it last night on your own Twitter feed. You know, if you want to get rid of Donald Trump, don't vote for him, but don't take him off the ballot.
That would be, hey, Michael, look, that would be my preference. I believe Donald Trump is an existential threat to our democracy. The only way to really beat him is to kick his ass at the ballot box. But, Michael, our legal system, our courts are part of our democracy. And so, I may not agree with what Colorado did, but I accept that ruling. Donald Trump has a right to appeal to the Supreme Court immediately. And look, if the Supreme Court affirms that ruling, Michael, you're going to see a number of states who are going to do the same damn thing.
Right. And what happens then? Because Donald Trump's supporters have just about had enough of the Democrats trying to stop him in New York, in Georgia, in Florida, with all these bum raps that they're trying to hand him. 91 different indictments, most of whom are not worth a fag end, which you know as well as I do, right? Most of them are not actually laws that have been broken. Most of them are civil cases. One of them's not even a federal indictment. So, you know, every step that they take against him, he gets stronger.
See, this is the damnedest thing, Michael. You know what? Trump supporters and you, Michael Graham, got to grow the hell up.
I'm not a Trump supporter, by the way. I'm just a supporter of democracy.
Oh, I think you are a closeted Trump supporter. Hey, by the way, Michael Graham, if you're a supporter of democracy, then you should be pissed off that Donald Trump is the only president in American history who lost an election and refused to participate in the peaceful transfer of power. Michael, that ought to piss you off.
Well, no, it doesn't piss me off because it's not true. Because he did take part in the peaceful transition of power because he did it. And if he hadn't done it, he'd still be sitting in the White House saying, I'm not leaving.
But that's the point. He tried to. He never conceded. Michael, okay, how about this?
That's like saying you tried to run. It's like saying you tried to run for president, which you did, but you might as well not have bothered.
I didn't do very well. Michael, he's the only president in American history, damn it, who lost an election and wasn't big enough to concede.
Right.
He wouldn't even go to Biden's inauguration. Come on, man. He was a big baby. At least admit that.
Yeah, I know he's a big baby, but that doesn't mean he has no right to stand for president. And I also know that Joe Biden is not a big baby, but Joe Biden is a pretty nasty individual. And Joe Biden is what pisses me off because, quite frankly, if the Democrats can't find a better candidate than him, most of them should be ashamed of what they're doing.
I'm not going to debate Joe Biden with you because you know where I am politically, and I agree with you. But
of course
look,
you do,
Michael,
because you're a smart guy.
Donald Trump's been indicted 4 times, 91 federal counts. Okay, it's not because he's a victim.
They're all bullshit.
No, Michael, come on now, Jack Smith. He's been indicted for trying to obstruct an official proceeding, to conspire against. These are criminal charges to conspire against an official proceeding. He tried to stop the election.
Yeah, but there are criminal charges brought by a biased attorney general, are they not? They're brought by not brought by Republicans. They're brought by Democrats, and everybody can see what they're doing. And Colorado has now proven that all they want to try and do is stop him from running.
Well, no, see, I don't buy that, because if the Supreme Court, Michael, which is heavily, bent toward conservatives and Trump appointees, I expect the Supreme Court to overrule what Colorado did.
Right.
But I'm not going to complain and say that was a political decision. Look, I don't think Colorado's was a political decision. 3 of the Democrats dissented from what Colorado did. We've got to respect the rulings of our courts in America, or a nation of laws. Otherwise, we're done.
But don't you think that also the damage that's being done to your constitution and your image around the world as a country, as a great country in my view, is that the politics is being interfered with by the law? They've started to do a bit of that here, and it doesn't work. It's not a good look, because you will never get pure law when you get politics involved.
I hope, Michael, what the rest of the world sees is that in America, nobody's above the law, not even a former president. My God, I hope the rest of the world picks up on that. And look, Michael, Trump's going to have his day in court, a bunch of courtrooms next year. He'll have his day. That's how this process should work. Yeah. And by the way, Michael, if he's convicted, he could still be elected.
Yeah. And every time he enters a courtroom, his popularity rating goes up. He gets more money into the coffers of the Trump organization. And the people doing it seem to be too stupid to work that out. But let me ask you this. Finally, Joe, you said that he was deliberately inciting the people of America by his comparisons to Hitler. But it wasn't him that made the comparisons to Hitler. It was other people that made them, wasn't
it? Michael, he knew exactly what he was saying when he echoed Hitler's language. Look, I'm a border hawk. We got a problem on our border. We got a problem with people entering this country illegally. Yeah. But Trump takes that issue, a legit issue, and takes it to ugly, bigoted, racist, xenophobic levels that we are better than. We're better than that, Michael, than talking like that and echoing Hitler. Come on now.
Well, he might be better than that, but the point is that there are lots of people in America who feel exactly the same way. They feel exactly the same way. You don't have to incite them. That's how they talk. That's what they want people to talk like, because they're sick to death of being told immigration's great. You can bring as many people in as you like because we should look after them all.
Then say that. Then say that, Michael, but don't echo what Hitler said. But I'm not going to disagree with you. It works with his base. No doubt about that.
Yeah, no question. Listen, great to see you, Joe. Have a lovely Christmas if I don't see you before the next time. But
hey, Michael, None of that happy holidays bull crap. Merry Christmas to you,
Christmas
my
is
friend.
what we do here. Yeah, we don't do happy holidays, I'm afraid.
Damn
But
right.
I'm also very encouraged, Joe, that you're coming more and more around to my way of thinking.
Don't you dare think that, Michael. Don't you dare.
See you soon. Take it easy.